What is up, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen? Day traders, cloud swing traders. Hope you guys doing absolutely fantastic. Man, we got like what? 2 more days? 2 more days of RLT, and then we go on a break till the new year. So uh still low environment, low trading environment, low volume area, and I can't wait for January to roll around. Pretty pumped about 2024, but I'm even more pumped. We got Albert in the house. We got Amy. Good morning to Bill, Brian, Diane. Good morning to you. Eric S is in the house. Good morning, George. My boy Greg Gilbert's in the house. Good morning to Jay Linder, Joe, Lauren, Martina. We got Wale. Good morning to you. All my peeps out on YouTube land. We got Nain is in the house. Good morning to you. We got Craig. Good morning. Daniel's in the house. We got Brian Gers. Gears. The first or second option correct? Not sure. Not sure. But you're in the house. I love it. All my people in the background of YouTube that is just lurking. I still love you. It's okay. It's okay. Just hit that like and subscribe button when you get the opportunity. It just makes me feel good about myself. We do have SPY gapping down a little bit. Albert says that's it. I know. Yeah, because I think we're let me check the real life calendar real quick, but I'm pretty positive we've only got 2 days of RLT left. Um, yeah, that's it. Thursday. Thursday's the last day. And I believe we got Christmas Friday. I think Friday itself, the market's maybe a half day. I'd have to look into that. Or just closed in general, but then obviously Monday on Christmas, market's closed. We got a very short week and right into New Year's Eve, and that's it. You guys can stop writing 2023 on things. Except for like your journal. You're like, I remember back in 2023, market just went up. There was no pullbacks ever. Craziest time in trading. But we got SPY. So SPY with a little bit of a gap down today, bucking the trend, bucking the just gap up nonstop, do everything crazy bullish trend. Still very far extended off of, I mean, all moving averages. The red line here is my 20. So we're pretty far off of that. I do have resistance above us that we threw in yesterday. That's going to be somewhere in this 474.17 zone. And then we have another support coming in at 472.53. So a little bit of a tighter trading range today. We'll see. Obviously, I mean, I don't think I have to be the one to tell you, but we've been in buy the dip territory for a while. So we've been just buying the dips. The question is, we're far extended. Is this going to be a dip that gets purchased? As of right now, I have no reason to believe so. I believe it's not going to get bought up. But we have a few things to go over, which might cause us to pause a little bit on the buy the dip. We'll see. We got the Qs. Yep, I'll check that out for you, Jeff. We got the Qs gapping down as well, also below yesterday's VPOC. Nothing has changed with this trend yet. So even on the SPY, every single VPOC still higher, 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 higher. They are deeming this market more and more valuable as the day goes, and this is telling me that they're still thinking we're underpriced. We have not had a single VPOC pull back. When was the last one to pull back? The last one that pulled back was this date right here since December 4th. So back in the beginning of the month when we had a little chop and people were like, that's the top. That's got to be the top. No, it was not. clearly, clearly it was not the top. But we do have VPOC. We do have a VPOC, a little bit of resistance, 408.52. And then our support today comes in at 407.62. So I want to see which way we could maybe break out of that. Northbound or southbound. Still, odds are if you're following the trend, just it's easier that way. Just follow the herd. It's more fun to call the bottoms. It's more fun to say, okay, here's the pullback. I got it in at the best price. I sold at the exact top. But that's a very tough story to tell. Very tough story to tell. So Qs, a little bit of a gap down again. Pretty strong close, both SPY and Qs. There was a little wick on Qs, not really much on the SPY. Let's go take a look at TLT, just make sure we're in safety zone. Nothing wild's happening. We do have a gap up, so that's a little bit of reason maybe for us to continue to buy the dip and throw the VPOC a little bit higher at the close of today. But that one is jumping a little bit of a retest gap over above 2 wicks. Actually, it's a nice little gap above previous little pivot. Next stop on that one probably takes us to about $100.04. We'll see if we can hit that today. Otherwise, support if we pull back a little bit. First stop is 99.21. And then after that, I'm looking at 98.86. So the one thing was this one that Lauren suggested. Getting into next year, we have FedEx coming out. The market typically moves off of FedEx mainly because we have, like, that's a decent indicator of the economy as a whole, typically. So if FedEx slows down, well, that means that people aren't typically mailing packages, and maybe a lot of the e-commerce sector is going to take a hit, and we're just not, we're slowing down. There's not as much need to mail anything, right? Send out packages. So a lot of times you'll see on earnings for FedEx, the entire market moves. This is a big gap on FedEx. They missed essentially on every single projection that they had. So here's earnings per share, down 3.53 from what they predicted. You're down 0.28 on the revenue side. So they missed their revenue by 62.292 million. It's a decent miss. It's nothing too crazy, but that gap says a lot. So the gap is telling us, yeah, it was a rough quarter. Also, the forecast that FedEx put out also was a downgrade from the previous forecast. So that's not a good look for FedEx. We're not dipping as much on the market. So you would expect something like FedEx that is a decent indicator for the rest of the market. So it's either this one is leading the market, that's option one, or option two, they're just going to put more weight behind something like Amazon, who is delivering a lot of their own stuff. So they have Amazon directly delivering packages, and that could weigh in. So maybe that's a possible shift on why the market isn't there yet, and we are pulling back on the market, but nothing as severe. This dip right here, if you go back maybe 6 months and you have a dip like this, and you check out the SPY is also taking a pretty decent beating. So that's one thing. So maybe it's starting to decouple, and they're going, well, you know, maybe just FedEx doesn't have it anymore, and Amazon doesn't really. I mean, they still need FedEx at this point, but if they're shifting to just having their own drivers, their own vehicles, their own planes, their own everything to get the packages out quicker, do it themselves, cost savings, well, that could still mean that the economy, Amazon is still doing good, but maybe FedEx has just got to find a new way for itself. So that's one possibility. The other one, like I said, is FedEx is kind of, and is the one I'd want to watch out for. It's very too early to say, but we want to watch the next earnings season heavily. There's already reports from companies saying that they're going to lay off employees. Right? There's already a lot of companies saying coming into 2024, we're estimating they're not huge job cuts, but it's a lot of the bigger companies. So if you lose 1% of all the big companies from every single one, totality adds up, right? So that's one thing we got to watch for. But when these earnings come out, we want to see if these companies start to say, all right, now we've got some more information, we're able to make some decisions, and are we going to continue to miss on forecasts, or do we expect a harder, tougher 2024 than maybe what the market's giving us credit for? So that's the next thing, but we need some more companies to report. But this is the first one, and it's a decent miss. In terms of trading, we are at a decent support level, right? So even if we zoom out a little bit, we're looking at kind of a touch point here, touch point here, touch point here, touch point here, and that's essentially right where we're opening today. So it's a tough one for me to buy right here at open with all the downgrades or missing and then weak forecast, but it is down a lot. I'd want to believe that this one could get a bounce here for today for a day trade. So I do have this on my list. We'll see if this one wants to get any type of bounce. This is also a retest gap too, opening at a pretty good support. Let's see if the buy the dippers come back in. I'm not sure where targets would be on this one. I think that if we're looking at first stop 252.93, that's not going to give us too much. I'm not sure where my stop has to be on this one. Pretty much got to look for some kind of pre-market support. Otherwise, maybe up until like 256.65, somewhere in that zone. But trading wise, I'm cautious on shorting down here. I've seen, I mean, we've seen Rivian, we've seen a bunch of companies that had huge gap downs and they came all the way back up. I don't think this does this today. I don't think we get all the way back up to 279 and we just powerhouse through. But I do think we're probably in for a little bit of a bounce to some extent. So we'll see what happens. But again, what this could provide a little information about the overall economy going forward. And I think at the worst case gives us a little reason to continue to look for some more information in this market for earnings next season or when they come out. We got Hood. Hood's just been absolutely going crazy. Really, really good gap still. Heavy volume area that we're about to hit. So watch for somewhere around 1350, 1351 into 1389. It's already had a really, really good move. I mean, we're up almost 100%, probably about 80% since November 17th, somewhere in that zone. If that one breaks, the next little target becomes 1459 and then 1646. After that one, we could see back to like 1850. So it's got some room on it. Very tough spot to buy, just knowing that we've bought up a lot. This is also a retest gap. We'll see if it pulls back a little bit at open, but I like the continued momentum longer term. We are pretty much putting in some higher lows. We had a little bit of a bear trap down here. Does have a decent short float on it and could get carried away too. So we'll see if that one wants to move for Hood. Right, and Mar crypto was going crazy last night. I was like, wow, we actually have a little sell-off. That was short-lived. Short-lived. Pre-market is gapping up again. Very, very good resistance. We've already hit this zone once, but the bears did slap it right back down into that first resistance. Otherwise, I think Mara probably has more continuation in it. Inside day for right now. Trapping a little bit of bears. Right now, we got some good volume. Some bears came in all the way into the closed at somewhere around 1668. So we're burning some of those bears. My question is all those bulls who was like, yeah, nah, this thing, I don't know where this thing pulls back. Is this an opportunity they're gonna look at and go, okay, maybe. So I don't know about the range on it. But again, another one, really, really good short float on Riot. We'll check out Mara. I think Mara has a bigger short float. I gotta check into that. If I was to pick one today, I'd probably go Mara over Riot. This is a little bit of a bigger retest though. So see if we could pull back a little bit. You do have, I mean, Mara was stronger yesterday than Riot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days in a row that's green. We could find some support. So if this thing comes back into like 2242, that's probably where support lies. Somewhere in that zone. And then we have a lot more room up to even 2782. So Mara, I'm going to throw a little bit higher on this list as well. We'll see if we can make something special happen with that one. I'm not loving the 6 days green in a row. And then we're like, yeah, okay, let's go along. But with the short float, pretty good gap. And a lot of the volume is now below us as opposed to above us. So not bad. We got Exxon Mobil. I don't even know what I'm typing in there. Exxon Mobil. Retest gap. I like that bullish volume. Gap up from here became a little bit of a retest gap. Targets on this one could get a little rough. It's got good, decent bullish momentum though. This could be some follow through for it. See if this one wants to pull back a little bit. Maybe we get some kind of initial pullback early in the morning just because it is a retest into a little bit of resistance. I think looking to buy this one somewhere around 103 could make sense. Even as a swing trade, you might have $6 stop, something like that. It seems a little wide on ExxonMobil. But day trade wise, yeah, pull back a little bit. The bigger volume area is somewhere around 105.50, so that's where I'd be targeting initially, at least. Probably does something, at least over the slight longer term, something like this, and then comes back. See if we get that higher low, and then if we're going to bounce something to that zone. We do got winter approaching too. That does drive typically, as long as we have some snow this year. That does drive a little bit more higher pricing, usually. Let's see what's the other ones I missed. Google. Fantastic. So if we're going with the candles, that is a gap and go. However, just because it's a red candle, technically this is a gap up retest gap. I would treat this one a little bit like a retest as well. See if this one wants to pull back. I don't know how far though. Maybe into like 138.54. That would be at least the first level. If that starts to break. Let's see if we have any other volume areas, something like that. That's a really, really good break on Google. Yeah, I don't think the pullback is going to be that that severe on this one. Maybe we're looking at like 138.30 would be the first spot I look at. Maybe like 137.66 would be the second. Obviously, we do have a couple of valid peaks up here, some pivots there, pivots there. So we've pivoted in this area before. I think Google is still lagging, honestly, a lot of the bigger names. But that being said, all that volume is below us. That should be support. We're starting to lose that volume as we move up higher. Targets, next initial target, probably about 143.73. And then if that breaks, we're back into this like 145.78, which is a much better resistance than anything that we're really in the zone. So I would look for the Google long. Yeah, I wouldn't mind that. Let's get that one higher. Herd City. Not sure what that means. Like you just heard of City now? So like City Group? That's crazy. They've been around for a minute. uh yeah, I don't know what Herd City is, but City in 9 minutes ago. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I'm completely lost. I've never been more lost in my life, I think. Nah, at least 12 times. Citigroup, uh, double top, inside day. Trading could be a little tough. But yeah, if you guys want to fill me on City, I'm not sure. I missed it. All right, we got LA. Good morning to you. Gears. It's Brian Gears. I knew it. I was right the second time, I think. Amazon, AMZN. Oh, City's taking off. I didn't see City really moving. Oh, CITI. I was no, never mind. Look this one here or C, because both of these. This one's not doing much, and then City itself. I'm looking at a little gap down. Oh, talking layoffs. I thought you said taking off. Now this is the most I've been confused. This is I just took the prize. That's it. All right, so City's talking layoffs. Yeah, a lot of them are. A lot of them are. I think Meta's even talking some more. Um, Amazon, I think, was talking some more, which that one would make sense. I think they usually do lay off a little bit after the holidays. Now I got it. Now I got it. All right, Amazon. So Amazon, a little bit of a gap down. We are below now 2 days of VPOX on this one. We're at the bottom range. Look for a retest on this one initially. I wouldn't be in it too long, I don't think. But look for maybe if you're gonna short something, maybe look for Amazon short somewhere around 153.55. It seems like a uh buckle up and embrace the impact on this one because that is a crazy breakout candle. This looks like more of a resting candle than anything. It's going to be a tough one to go short. I really don't want to go short at open though. If we get some kind of double bottom, a good pre-market support down here, I would actually wouldn't even mind going long if that last candle. To be honest, look for a continuation. Let me see if there's any crazy volume areas. The next spot on this one, if we go bullish, 157.44. I think there's better gaps than this one for today. Even if I was to go long, I'd want to really retest into 150.41. But that was a good. This candle has good volume. This is a nice breakout candle. We might be in for a little resting day, with some kind of resistance around 153.58, and then support would be down here if we break yesterday's low. So support would be somewhere around 149.57. Lurking. What's up, Lurking? We got Chewy, the Chew Dog. Yeah, we did take a look at Google. Google I still like long. Maybe get a little. Yeah, I do see the resistance on Google. I want like a little pullback. No, it's all good. Like a tad, just because it is at that resistance. And I believe it was a little bit of a retest, but pretty good gap, and I think it's got more room on Google. Let's see, Chewy. I don't know if I see that wave 5 yet. The pullbacks from the wave 3 confuse me. Yeah, so I think we have, I mean, on this down move in a much longer term basis. I think to some extent I would be looking at this being my wave 1, 2. I think this should be a clear 3. I don't know if this is your 4 and that's your 5. For the size of this, I would think not. I would think that this is all still 3. This is your 4. I think this is your 5. Then I'd be looking for maybe a little consolidation here on this one. So this could be your little ABC kind of pivot. We do have a decent trap where this one opened lower on earnings. Bulls just absolutely took over from there. That even low of that got below all of this. So this one candle right here is a very good trap candle. Clear volume. We did break out, continue higher. I think this is actually starting to be a 1. Maybe we could get up to like the 27. Then we pull back for 2. Then some kind of a 3, 4, and I could even see us getting back maybe to this 43 zone. So it's got a lot of room on it to the higher side. There will be some pullbacks eventually, but I think this one is starting to reverse trend a little bit. Got a good double bottom down here. I wouldn't even mind adding to some of these pullbacks. For today, we are below the VPOC. So that's going to be a little bit of resistance for us. Let me see if I get the lines off the chart. There we go. A little bit of resistance somewhere sitting at 23.39. If this one pulls back into like the 21.78, I think this is. I think they also just got an upgrade too. I don't know. We'll see if that helps. But longer term, I think it's decent for a potential breakout. I think buying anywhere at $21 in that range. TTOO. I haven't looked at that one in forever. T2 Biosystems. A little bit of a cheaper stock into some resistance. We're technically at pre-market from if this opens where it does. Watch the spreads on this one, but if this one opens where it is, we're no longer in the penny stock range. We're above $5. But at closing as yesterday, we still were in that zone. That being said, really, really good candle yesterday into resistance. I think this is probably a fade from here. It comes back into like 467. Um, maybe that's a good double bottom on a longer time frame. Potentially, I'd still wait for this one, whether today or in a few days. See if this one comes back down. I think probably today at that resistance might come into this 465. Then I think trying it there a little bit is good. See if this one wants to come into like this 426. Maybe that would be an add spot, and then probably have one last add if it comes back into like 376, and then stop somewhere around 330, something like that. If you like this company on a longer term basis. I don't know too much about the company. I know that chart doesn't look like the best chart. Those numbers too, by the way, they're all. It didn't trade up here. This is all reverse splits, would be my guess. Yeah, so reverse split 1 for 50, reverse split 1 for 100. So if you're really looking at where this price was, you got to reverse the reverse, and this is probably like a one penny stock. Usually, companies that have financial strength aren't doing the 1 for 50 splits, reverse splits. So be careful on this company. I think longer term, but if you like it and you've done your research, I mean, you got a good double bottom even as a trade potentially, but it's a tough one, I think. Let's see. We got Oxy for Joe. I got 2 minutes left. Occidental. I feel like the name is a little too close to accidental, and I don't like my petroleum accidental. We accidentally spilt in the Gulf of Mexico. Oopsies. This is a retest gap. We are gapping up a little bit. See if this one wants to pull back slightly. Targets to the higher side on this one. We could get caught up. I think that's a weak one, but $60.78, and then next stop 60.97. So I don't know about the range on this one. Pretty good breakout candle yesterday. See if we get that retest. The buy spot for me, if I want to consider this one, I'd be looking at $6.14, somewhere in there. Diane says Coinbase. Yeah, we've seen Mara go crazy or looking pretty good. We've seen Riot. Coinbase looks like it's got the same reaction. We've still got a lot of room on Coinbase. So I wouldn't mind continuing that trend up higher. Again, it is a retest gap from close yesterday. We were a little iffy on the crypto world yesterday. I think longer term targets at least take us to this 177.45. I've been saying the 174.75 since we were down at like $115, I think. So that still would be my target, getting back up into there. We really don't have, we've got one little volume zone. It's not much, but 162.11 would be your support. So if we come down for that retest, that's where I'll be looking to see if we can find any kind of bids and push it up from there. Let's see. Do I have anything? Amazon, we did take a look at. Walmart, we did not. WMT. Walmart. Really interesting spot. We're right at the 200 on the daily. We've recaptured that, so that looks good. Nice little hammer. This could be a 1, 2. I think we're probably in a wave 3 on this initial move. Target's probably taking us to this 157. I will continue to watch that one long. Inside day though, so let's see if we get a small little pullback, and then look to buy somewhere around 155.10. But that is the opening bell. All my party people out there in YouTube land, I appreciate you joining us each and every day. Unfortunately, we're running out of time for the year for this, but I promise I'll be back tomorrow. I'll see you tomorrow. You guys are incredible.